In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at incentives to buy, and there are different kinds of incentives. This one's going to focus on store cash or points. There's also discounts that some retail stores will offer, either in store displays or store flyers. We're not going to talk about that. That is also an incentive to buy. We're going to talk about more like store cash and points. So store cash or points are offered to consumers to encourage them to continue to shop at that store or chain of stores. And we're going to take a look at 3 examples altogether on this page and a couple of the next 2. And in this first one, a grocery store stamps a card once for every $5 customers spend at their store. Every card has 10 places to stamp to fill it. When the card is filled, customers may use it as a $1 store coupon. If a person spends $3,850 at the store in a year, it doesn't have to be a year, it could be any amount of time, how much store cash will they earn? So the first thing we want to do is determine the number of $5 purchases made, because you get a stamp for every $5 you spend. So we would take that $3,850 and divide it by 5, because for every $5 you get a stamp. And so if you divide that, you get 770. So you get 770 stamps. So in order to figure out how many cards you're going to fill, we would divide it by 10, because it takes 10 stamps to fill a card. And so 770 divided by 10 would be 77, and if they're each worth $1, that would be translated into $77 worth of store cash. So 77 cards would be filled. Now, and if a different store, let's say it wasn't $1 they were offering, let's say it was 50 cents. So if you multiply the 77 cards filled by 50 cents, then that would give you $38.50 in store cash if it was 50 cents instead. Second example, a large retail store offers a points card the customers can use to obtain free groceries once they earn a certain number of points. And so these are the details. For every $10 you spend, customers get 1,000 points. Once the customer accumulates 20,000 points, they can start redeeming them. And they're told that for every $10,000 worth of points, they will get $10 worth of free groceries. So if a person spends $2,500 at the store over a year, there's 2 questions. How many points will they earn? And how much free groceries will this translate into? So the first thing to do is to figure out how many times did they spend $10 basically. So the number of $10 groups spent, or $10 spent, we would take the 2,500 and divide it by 10. And so that's 250. So 250 times they would get 1,000 points. So in answering the how many points will they earn in this period of time, we would take the 250 and multiply it by 1,000, because they're getting 1,000 points 250 times. So they would get 250,000 points, or 250,000 points on their card in this year. Now, in order to figure out how much free groceries that's going to give you, you need to take this 250,000 and figure out, well, how many 10,000s are there in there? Because for every 10,000 points, you get $10 of free groceries. So the number of groups of 10,000 points, we would take the total you got and divide it by 10,000. So that would be 250,000 divided by 10,000 is 25. Remember, a quick way to do this, you can actually cross off zeros, pairs of zeros. You cross those all off. You end up with 25 divided by 1, which of course is 25. So 25 times, they got enough points to give them $10 each of those times. So the amount of free groceries would be 25 times 10. Okay, so 25 times they got enough points for $10 worth of groceries. So we multiply that, we get 250, and so the customer will earn $250 worth of free groceries for spending the $2,500 over a year. You can actually, now this up here can be confusing to figure out, well, what percentage are you actually getting back? If you look at, I'm going to bring my calculator over here. If you're getting $250 worth of free groceries for spending $2,500, okay, that's 0.1. Remember to change it to a decimal, you multiply by 100. So they're actually getting 10% back. In the previous one, what was it? $77 for $38.50 you spent. So in that case, the person is getting 2% back. So that's how you can figure out what percentage you're actually earning. On to the last example on page 3 here. Store accumulates 2% of purchases made by the retail customers on a cash card. If a person buys, and this is kind of a furniture store, a sofa for $899, a mattress set for $1,100, and a table for $650, how much cash value will they accumulate on their card? So the first thing to do is figure what's the total of the purchases. What do all three of these add up to? So if we add $899, $1,100, and $650, we get $2,649. Maybe we'll do this. There's the 9 came up there. So $899 plus $1,100. Forgot my 1. And plus the $650. So there's the $2,649. Now they're getting 2% of it on their card. So we multiply that by 0.02. So they're going to earn $52.98. So that's the calculation you would do to figure out how much they're going to get on their points card. So the cash value earned would be $52.98. And that's the end of the tutorial.